Hi, everybody. This is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. So we had a little bit of everything today. We saw some early weakness, and once we got to support, we saw it was just a grind higher, and that was kind of a little bit different than what we saw the other day where, we were grinding higher and then came down. So this right here, it looks like it's just a bull flag right here. And the reason why I'm saying that is if we look at this next one, this is going to get a little interesting because this looks like a classic head and shoulders. So they don't always play out. I have no idea if this one's going to, but here's the left shoulder, here's the head, here's the right shoulder. We found resistance right where that was. And what the way for this pattern to kick off is this is the neckline. It's trending down, so it has to take out this trend line. That's right around that, depending on when it gets there, 62.80. But if it plays out, then what we're looking for is a move to come all the way down to the 62.24 level. So this would be the target, and then we also have the important low that we've been seeing buyers step in each time. So that could bring us, this head and shoulders pattern could bring us down to here. And since we're here, just because this is the pattern target, we may as well just go down and test the 6,200 again. But in any case, it's if we start breaking above it, it still could even go higher. It could go to 63.25 and still make sense and be a shoulder. Once it gets above there, then this pattern is going to be wiped out. And we're overbought right now. We don't have any bullish we have bearish divergences from this move here, but we don't have anything. We're still just in the neutral. So it was your classic, come down to the 50-day moving average. People bid it back up, and that was really the name of the day today. So we did really well. I mean, one of the themes that I've been going with, and this is, honestly, since we had that gap up that brought us over to here, and I switched to neutral. I never said to short the market, but since this time, what we've been doing is trading IWM. Now, look what IWM did today. You have the S&P that closed up 0.06. And again, we had an up day, and you had the IWM that was up. It was up at 1% at one point, and we actually traded this awesome today in the room, where my original thought process was that we were going to be heading down. And this kind of got me a little bit by surprise, but it ran right into the resistance. And I had, what I had put out was you can do hang on one second. So here you can see it. I said, I'm going to put on a 222 put, 223 call. And that's when it was right in this area here, right around that 2240. So once it got down here, I said, we want to lock in profits at least. I said I'm closing the entire trade. So I did it there. We locked in, I think it was $600-700. And the reason why was, if you look, it was the same thing as the S&P. We came right down to this was, I believe, the 100-day moving average. I have a bunch of them on here. But once it came here, we shot up. And then what I had put out was that we can... Okay, I said, so once it was down there and we took off the put side of it and the call side, I said, you can use the 222 calls, 221 puts. And again, that's when we were down here. So it was right at the 2150. So we had the 22 calls, 21 puts. And the calls at the high were up $1.80, so we really crushed it today. For the actual fund, we did $8.80. So overall, it was a decent day. But let's get back to the S&P here. So here you can see we have bearish divergences. This pattern could be in play, but we really need to see I would say to just go to here. Say that this, right around this. The 6270 should trigger it, and it's about a 50-point move, so we'd be looking for a target somewhere down into these levels here. And it's, we're going to have to just wait and see. Are we going to get buyers that step back in here again? And if they do, this is actually something else that may come into play. If they do that, is we actually are forming, this is a left shoulder duplicate, this is your head duplicate, and we've come down and bounce and then come up and make the right shoulder. And now we're talking about a much, much larger head and shoulders pattern. And they're happening at the top of the of the chart, so it makes sense on it. And I don't know if this plays out. I don't even know if it's going to come down here. Maybe this was the low that they needed and they headed higher. But what I do know is that we've gone a really, really long time without testing the 23% retracement. And as I've made this assumption a long time ago, where it's like pushing a beach ball underwater. You can do it and you can go deeper and deeper, but eventually it's going to slip out of your hands because you're just not going to be able to push it any deeper, and then it shoots out. And this is what happens when you don't have any really proper pullbacks, where it spends more than a day or two. It's a lot of it is time that it needs to burn off just to get some of the indicators into oversold levels. And we have the sell signals there. We had a little bit brief of a thing, but like I said, I'm not suggesting to go short on this market. I'm saying I'm very cautious and skeptical of the S&P. And on the down days, I jump on IWM on the short side just because it usually exaggerates everything. And when we see that if IWM's hitting support or we're finding some support on the S&P, I go long the IWM because it's crushing the S&P as far as when we get these upside moves on a percentage basis. And lately I've had a pretty good read on it, and it's been going pretty well. So tomorrow, these lows are important. We want to keep an eye on this head and shoulders pattern. So it's really going to be a break right around that 62.80 level. And if they do that, then our target's going to be down at the 62.24. Now, if the bulls get above here, then you can see we have this resistance at 63.25. If they hold it down, then we could say, okay, well, the shoulders here, it still would make sense. It's not something. It's once we get above this level, the 63.25, that I would say this pattern's not in play anymore, and we're probably just heading back up and making new all-time highs. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a fantastic night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.